Recently, I was asked this question by my students: how can I learn an opening that is aggressive and has a concrete plan? My answer shocked all of them. Yes, it is neither e4 nor d4. I was wondering, if I had known about this attack a few years back, I would have been a much higher rated player by now. So here is the opening I wish I knew when I started as a beginner. To learn this opening, you need to know about these 5 steps. The last step is the most important one. Step 1. Piece placement. As we all know, that to launch an attack, you need to first develop your pieces. Have a clear look at the squares where the pieces are placed. You can practice this by playing move by move and try to achieve this position in your games. Now that you have understood the placement of pieces in step 1, let's go to step 2 to understand the concrete plan of this opening. Step 2. Pawn storm. Once you have developed the pieces on specific squares, you need a plan for the middle game. The plan is to start pushing king side pawns f4, f5, g4, g5. You should know that every single pawn move creates holes that become weaknesses, but in this opening, we don't care too much about the weak holes in our camp, as our main plan is to go on the offense and attack the opponent's king. You should also avoid trading pieces in step 2, as the more you stay in the middle game, the more pressure you'll build, the more chances you create for black to make mistakes. Now it's time to understand what to do if black captures your pawns on f4 or f5. For that, let's go to step 3. Step 3. Recapture method. After you push the pawn to f4, in case black captures it, you should recapture after looking at black's king side pawn structure. If the black's king side pawn structure is like this, you should capture by the g pawn, and if the black's king side pawn structure is like this, you should capture by the bishop. By the way, I'm teaching you how to play this opening, but I will share my insights and secrets at the end of the video. Back to the point. Step 4. Attacking zone. In step 4, I'll be sharing tips for both the sides to play. For white side, white needs to focus on the king side and avoid trade of queens. White needs to maneuver maximum number of pieces on the king side. Like the queen can be placed on e1 h4 diagonal or d2 g5 diagonal. The e2 knight can come to g3, then to f5 or h5. The rook can come to f3, then g3. The c3 knight likes to come on the d5 square. Make sure you don't open the f file for black's f8 rook. Now, few things that you should note what black will be trying to do. For black side, the a8 rook more or less is not involved in the middle game. c6 knight will come on the d4 square most of the times. Black will start the pawn storm on the queen side. But, since you are focused on the king side, you should not worry about the queen side. Moving to step number 5. This is my favorite step. Now why it is so? Because now that you have understood step 1, step 2, 3 and 4, you are ready to play games and analyze it. Play and analyze. You should analyze your games based on 3 different parameters. A. Did you achieve the piece placement in the opening or not? B. Was there any mistake in the pawn storm attack? C. How strong were your calculations? Take the feedback by seeing the engine lines in your attack and repeat the process. Let's now see one of my games that I played with 97% of accuracy. But I was doing nothing apart from following all the above steps. First of all, I placed the pieces on their specific squares like this. It was then the right time to launch the pawn storm attack on the king side. I started with f4, f5, g4, g5 and f6. I decided to open up the h file, for which I sacrificed the knight. The c3 knight went to d5 and the queen went to h5. Then the rook joined the attack by f3 and g3. The attacking zone was clear and I had to break open the g file somehow. Bishop to f5 was played with the same objective. This is move number 27 and you can see all the pieces of white are in harmony, and the threat is to play pawn to g6. After g6, black played queen into f6 and white played g into f7, checkmate. And that's it. If you repeat the above process and practice for 2 weeks, you will have a solid command on the English opening. Let me know in the comments about the topic you want to see the next video. Thanks and bye.